What's good, Commanders family? Brian Coleman Jr. here, and I'm here with our starting center, Tyler Biadasz. Tyler, how you doing, man?
How we doing, man? I'm good.
Man, I'm good. Happy to be here. Last time we spoke, you had just got here, man. You was in the suit. You had the J's on, man. You were adjusting. How's it been adjusting to the DMV?
No, it's been great. I mean, obviously, we had like a whole OTA stretch last time we talked, and that was for about 3 months. Then we had like a 5-week training break. But then we're back here, man. We're in camp right now, and we're past week 2 onto the Jets this week. So
on to the Jets, man. I can't believe it's already here, our first preseason game. And with that, an unofficial depth chart was announced. And everybody was very happy to see Jayden Daniels at that number 1 quarterback position. Man, how has it been snapping to Jayden?
no, it's been great. No, you know, the way he goes about things and doing things the right way and the work ethic that he shows, it truly, like, you see it, you know, whether he's coming in early in the early mornings, you know, he's doing extra walkthrough rep. He's making sure, like, you know, things are straightened up and everything like that, whether it's pass pro, whether communication, line scrimmage, and all that stuff. So, no, but he's doing great, man. But no, his personality shows, man, every single day. You know, he's in the moment. And that's, I think, the biggest part about him, that he lives in the moment.
And you've gotten a snap to some pretty good quarterbacks. How is Jayden, as a rookie right now, comparing to the other guys you've gotten to play with, especially his mentality?
Yeah, I don't think you can really compare him. I think, like, for like veterans, for rookies, but I would say just like in the grand scheme of, because I got to learn a new playbook too, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I go back to, like, you know, when I went to Dallas my rookie year, you know, how the playbook was for then and how it was, because it was like a new coaching staff and everything like that. But in regards upon, like, of how he's diagnosed, like, the playbook and the way his patterns are, whether, you know, we're talking on the side of what he would want to do in pass pro if this look came about or whatever. And so, but he's been on, like, whether it's the cadence, you know, play and everything like that. And, like, yeah, you're going to have some pickups here and
Right.
there, like, you know. But, I mean, in regards upon, like, the consistency that he shows, that's the biggest thing about him, is that he's consistent and he's living in the moment, and he doesn't let it get to him, whether it's, like, you know, there's always learning lessons in
Right.
anything, right? Whether it's a meeting, whether it's on the walkthrough, or whether it's, like, practice. And, you know, and his consistency of just having that growth mindset each and every day, like, that's what shows for real.
And I'm sure you were brought in as a big piece of helping Jayden develop, because there's nothing like that center quarterback chemistry. And you had actually mentioned it on Free Agency Friday when we spoke last about building that chemistry with whatever quarterback you were playing with.
Right.
How have you been able to build that chemistry so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's just having that relationship. I think it's just it doesn't, you know, sometimes, you know, you wanna get to know the person outside of football, you know, and what they do and what they're all about, you know, but also just with how he is as a person and whether or not just having, like, small conversations here and there, like, you just get to know his vibe and, like, know his type of persona of what he brings. And but I mean, it's honestly, like, it's on you, it's on us, it's on us to build the best relationship we can and be the best, you know, duo that we can be, you know, and that takes time. It's not just like it's just going to happen, right? So, you know, we're always, like, you know, on each other about whatever the case may be, whether it's installs or whatever. So, I mean, we're doing a great job of just communication right now.
And Jayden's not the only rookie that got a start in 9. Brandon Coleman is going to be starting at left tackle. What have you seen from the young rookie, man? I know you've been a big part of mentoring him. How has that process been with Brandon Coleman?
It's been great. No, I think Brandon's done a great job of just, you know, being available, like, mentally, and just being that sponge in the room and learning on the fly. I mean, like, when you're rookie year, like, when you get brought in, whenever you get drafted or get signed or whatever, like, you're on this, like, stretch of time where it's like you're going, and same with Jayden, and same with all those rookies, man. Like, you have this time frame of, like, OTAs and, like, how much you can build in OTAs, and then in that 5-week break hits, like, part of that break you're still here.
Right.
So it's like, so I think, honestly, he's done a great job of just learning, because obviously, like, an O-line play, there's a lot of different schemes, a lot of different ways to block stuff and everything like that. So I think the biggest part for him was just being able to be a sponge in the room and, like, learn a lesson off of each and every play, whether he was in or not, and, like, communication in the room, because we knew his potential, and you know, and it's showing big time, man. And it's been great to see, and it's been great to, you know, mentor him, if that's, you know, how he sees it or not. But I mean, I feel like, you know, he's been a great asset of just, like, even, like, how his play is and how square he is in a set or whatever that might be. Like, you can really, like, you know, give him keys and tendencies of, like, what we've seen in the past, or we've seen in, like, different tackles and stuff. And, you know, he brings it to life.
And it's not just Jayden that you and Brandon get to block for. You guys also get 2 stud running backs, in Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler. How do they make your life easier?
How will they?
Yeah.
I think their presence, man. And honestly, like, having those guys in the backfield, like, those are huge threats, man. And like having them both in the game at one time, like there's a lot to defend there. And I think like just with how they run the ball and how physical they are and how violent they are, it's going to show in regards upon like, we got a lot of speed in the backfield and a lot of experience too. And but no, I mean, they're doing a hell of a job of just they're communicating too, and they're like pressing us on the tempo, or not necessarily the tempo, but like pressing us on like what they see,
right.
About like how they want to hit it, or when they make their read of how they're gonna what's the speed to this, or like how like just keep going on that angle because I'm gonna cut it back, or just having that like trust in it and like having them in the room. So they're very like vocal and very great in like how they see it and everything, and which we need. So it's like having that experience in the room, it's been great.
And Tyler, you guys will get your test early before preseason even starts. You guys will have joint practices with the New York Jets. As a veteran, man, how important are these joint practices for these young guys?
I think you get a lot out of them. I really think like you get that. It's one of those things where you have periods of practice, right? So there's difference of like a game, and there's a difference of like periods in practice and what the period is about. It's whether it's run game, whether it's pack game, whether it's move the ball, whether it's kind of like a game situation, right? Well, having that mentality of like they know we're gonna run the ball, like, and we gotta do the best we can, and but at the same time, that I think those moments create more of those confidence type of experiences to level up, right, and to see like where you're at. And then next week we're gonna do it again in Miami, and then the next week we're gonna have the last preseason game. So like these are great moments for us, I think, to just level up and see where we're at and to keep growing. And I think we're excited about that because we've been seeing each other since OTAs, and we practice against each other. So it's like, and we have a great defense, and I think we have a great offense too. So I mean, it's gonna be great to go against a different opponent for sure. And that's what you kind of itch for, man. And you wanna really see how it is when the refs don't blow the whistle here and there. So,
well, Ty, let me tell you, me and the Commanders fan, we're all itching to see you guys out there. We're gonna get you out of the seat. Before we let you go, what can fans expect to see Week 1 preseason against the New York Jets from their Commanders?
I think you're gonna see a very physical, violent team. I think you're gonna have. And that comes with the consistency for having those disciplined moments, whether we're honing in on the little things, right? Like the small stuff, whether it's pre-snap or post-snap, like stuff in the middle, like things are gonna happen for sure, but we want to hone in on being the most disciplined team we can be pre and post-snap, and just having those growth mindsets, and that's what preseason's all about.
Sir.
So we're gonna see a lot of physicality and a lot of touchdowns.
That's what we're going for.
All this shit.
Tyler, man,
be rolling.
Yes, sir, man. Tyler, thank you so much for your time, man. We appreciate it. It was great catching up with you, man. We know you are going to kill it this season, and we can't wait to see it, baby. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate your time, man. Brian Coleman Jr. here with our center, Tyler Biadasz.